Breaking news, a magnitude 4.4 is felt all over the Southland.
There are no reports of damage or injuries.
Yeah, the epicenter was in Laverne, but the shaking was felt as far away as Bakersfield and San Diego.
We have live team coverage tonight, starting with CBS 2's Stacey Butler live in Pomona. Stacey?
Oh, Jeff and Pat, while there was no damage reported, this certainly did rattle some nerves. Here at the Superstop liquor store in Pomona, it's all caught on security tape. You can see just how long the shaking went on.
It actually did kaboom, and it just kind of shook, and then it just another shook.
At Superstop Liquor Market in Pomona, security tape shows the soda and liquor bottles on the shelves rattling, even swaying from the shaking. But the 4.4 quake wasn't strong enough to knock the bottles over. The store owner wasn't sure what was about to happen. He ran outside just in case. His customers say the rattling was terrifying.
All of a sudden, I hear this.
I felt like a huge shaking. I mean, I could almost hear the earth like moving. And it was very scary. I jumped out of my seat. I tried to run in the house, check that everybody else was okay, but it was alarming.
Just down the street at Edwards Theater in Laverne, moviegoers say just as they were about to sit down to watch a movie, the earthquake seemed to shake the whole building. Everyone was told to evacuate for over an hour. They say it was the strongest quake they have felt so close to home.
I felt it shaking and I heard like a rumbling noise. So then I started freaking out and I jumped off and all my friends and me were just hugging and then we were just freaking out.
45 miles away at LAX.
I know y'all felt that earthquake.
This woman posted on Instagram she was worried about going to work in the air traffic control tower.
Do y'all think I feel like working tonight? Heck no.
Check out this cat in Burbank, bristling when the shaking started, then jumping and bolting. In Anaheim, the quake was felt during a game at Angels Stadium.
So I just had a little rolling earthquake here.
Now, luckily, no one was hurt, but again, nerves were rattled out here. And I can tell you, we drove all around Laverne and Pomona tonight. People did tell us that they ran out of their apartments and their homes just in case. That's the latest from Pomona. Stacey Butler, back to you guys.
Yep, that's the reaction. Thank you, Stacey. Well, CBS 2's Rachel Kim is live at Caltech in Pasadena, where seismologists are weighing in. Rachel?
Yeah, Pat, the seismologists say there was basically nothing unusual about this quake. They said a lot of people felt it because a lot of people were sitting at home when it happened, and it was located in a densely populated area. Seismologist Dr. Lucy Jones says the early warning system here in their lab worked, giving them a 3-second warning that strong shaking was coming in. She said the 4.4 quake was felt over a large part of the LA area, from Oxnard to San Bernardino, and from the San Fernando Valley to Orange County. Basically, the people near it felt strong shaking, strong enough to throw things off shelves. As you got further away, people felt weaker shaking, a rolling motion. Dr. Jones said this is the largest earthquake to happen in the LA metropolitan area in 3 years. And in the big picture, she said this was a very ordinary quake for California in terms of its size.
We've had about a dozen aftershocks so far. The largest was a 3.4 just 1 minute after the first one. We're continuing to have magnitude 1s and 2s. It would not be at all a surprise to have another felt event with this one. And in fact, like any earthquake in California, this has about a 5% chance of being a foreshock to something bigger.
Tonight, we also spoke with Alyssa Walker. She's the urbanism editor at Curb.com, and she's one of several beta testers for an app called Quake Alert, an early warning system being tested right now for the city of LA. She said the alert on her phone worked. It gave her a 12-second warning.
I looked down, it said I had 12 seconds, and then you swipe through and it gives you all the information about the event. It tells you on a map where the earthquake is epicentered, and then it gives you a little countdown clock that shows you how many seconds you have until shaking. And it said tonight, expect weak shaking. 12 seconds, that's enough to get under a table. That's enough to, alert people in your house, which is what I did.
Now, Dr. Jones said the quake was located near the Sierra Madre Fault, 4 miles below the Earth's surface. She said she's not surprised there weren't reports of any major damage. Reporting live tonight at Caltech in Pasadena, Rachel Kim, CBS 2 News.
And thankfully so, Rachel, thank you. I'll stay with CBS 2 for the latest on that Laverne earthquake. We'll bring you any updates throughout this newscast.
Oh, football players weren't the only ones getting tackled at a Friday night game in Banning. A high school police officer was slammed to the ground by a student. And CBS 2's Nicole Comstock is live at Banning High School, where that search is on for the suspect. Nicole?
That's right, Pat. And in the middle of that chaos, thankfully, several people did step up here in the middle of that game Friday night to make sure that they could get that officer to safety, as well as getting that 17-year-old into custody. But now police say they still need your help finding 2 more people.
Under the Friday night lights, students and parents shrieked as an officer was thrown backwards onto concrete.
Body slammed him.
It happened near the concession stand during last week's Banning High School football game.
When it went out, it just sounded bad.
Detective Mike Bennett says the young man wrestling with the school resource officer was a 17-year-old student here. He says the officer was breaking up an altercation at the game and trying to detain the 17-year-old when he grabbed onto him. Afterward, you can see the officer dazed, struggling to get back up.
The officer was hurt. You know, it was a very scary situation for him.
On Monday, everybody was talking about the fight.
Donald Wayman was on the field playing football when he heard the chaos.
We got whipped, man.
He says it was hard for his teammates to focus on the game with that huge distraction.
They're just too focused on everything else.
The Banning Police Department is focused on finding the other 2 guys they say got away.
The individual in the red outfit with the dreadlocks, who goes by Dada.
Sergeant Bennett says he's wanted for questioning, along with this guy with the tattoo on his right wrist, caught on camera putting his hand around the officer's neck as he lay on the ground.
And right now, police aren't saying how badly that officer was injured, only that he's still hurt and he's at home trying to recover. Reporting live in Banning, Nicole Comstock, CBS 2 News.
Well, now to politics. President Trump is taking on a pair of familiar adversaries.
Yeah, but he's taken his public battle to a whole new level. And CBS 2 political reporter Dave Bryant is here now. Dave, some are calling this pretty dangerous, right?
Well, he was talking about possible violence if the Democrats win control of Congress. He didn't know someone was recording his comments last night. The president warning a crowd of evangelical leaders at the White House that if the Democrats win in November and take control of Congress, they will destroy all the progress he has made and there will be violence. He got a standing ovation when he entered a White House dinner celebrating evangelical leadership. But when the reporters and news cameras were shuttled out of the room, the sweet talk turned chilling, as President Trump warned that if the Democrats win back control of Congress, things will take a violent turn. The president's exact words, they will end everything immediately. They will overturn everything that we've done, and they'll do it quickly and violently, and violently. There's violence. When you look at Antifa and you look at some of these groups, these are violent people.
Never, ever has any president come even close to saying if my side loses, there's going to be violence. I think it's irresponsible. It demeans the presidency.
And this on the same day President Trump appeared to expand his war with the news media to include social media like Google, Facebook, and even his own personal favorite, Twitter.
I think what Google and what others are doing, if you look at what's going on at Twitter, if you look at what's going on in Facebook, they better be careful, because you can't do that to people. You can't do it. They're really treading on very, very troubled territory.
White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow says the president's concerns will be investigated.
We're just going to do some investigation and some analysis. That's what we do.
Now, responding to the presidential attack, Google released a statement denying that it politically manipulates its search results. The statement said search is not used to set a political agenda, and we don't bias our results toward any political ideology. Congressional hearings on the subject scheduled for next week. So, Pat, there'll be more coming.
Well, I'm sure there will, and we will be relying on you to give us the information, Dave. Thanks for that. Now, the outpouring of love for Aretha Franklin will continue tomorrow in Detroit on the second day of her public viewing. Thousands gather today, walking through the Charles H. Wright Museum for African American History.
Franklin died 2 weeks ago at the age of 76. Fans who arrived today celebrated her life and even did a little singing.
It's a time to be rejoicing. This is all going with a little respect.
R-E-S-P-C-T, find out what it means to me.
Franklin's funeral will be held on Friday. Today, Ariana Grande was added to the long list of star performers.
Well, still ahead, it could be a whole new way to get to Dodger Stadium.
And how would you like to get to Dodger Stadium in just 4 minutes by going underground? Well, now is your chance to weigh in.
I think I'm going to die.
Plus, caught on home security video, a man drags a woman into a car.
And why local researchers want to pay you to eat avocados.
Hey everybody, I'm Garth Kemp. What a day today. Can we duplicate it tomorrow? Look at that. Nice out by the beach. We'll have your forecast coming up.
And here's a look at the guests tonight on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.